The economic development of Australia has been shaped by various factors over the decades, with each period contributing to the nation's current economic structure. From its early days as a colonial outpost, dependent on agriculture and pastoral industries, Australia gradually transitioned into an industrialized economy in the mid-20th century. The discovery of gold in the 1850s brought significant wealth and immigration, transforming Australia into one of the wealthiest colonies of the British Empire. As the nation moved through the 20th century, it diversified its economy by developing its manufacturing and service sectors, spurred by post-war reconstruction and global economic integration. The economic boom of the post-World War II era was largely driven by an increase in industrial production, urbanization, and rising global demand for raw materials, particularly from its vast mineral and natural resource deposits. These factors laid the foundation for Australia's emergence as a modern, developed economy. Key turning points in Australia's economic history reflect the nation's ability to adapt to both domestic and global challenges. The shift towards deregulation and economic liberalization in the 1980s was a pivotal moment, transforming Australia's financial and economic landscape. Under Prime Minister Bob Hawke and Treasurer Paul Keating, policies such as the floating of the Australian dollar in 1983, the deregulation of the financial system, and significant tariff reductions opened the Australian economy to greater international competition and capital flows. Another major turning point occurred during the 2000s, when Australia experienced a resource-driven economic boom due to surging demand for iron ore, coal, and liquefied natural gas from rapidly industrializing countries, particularly China. This boom helped shield Australia from the full impact of the global financial crisis in 2008, as strong export demand cushioned the economy from severe recessionary pressures that hit other advanced economies. In terms of global economic positioning, Australia plays a significant role as a major exporter of natural resources and agricultural products. The country is one of the world's largest producers of commodities such as iron ore, coal, and gold, making it a critical player in global supply chains. Australia's strong trade relationships, particularly with the Asia-Pacific region, have enhanced its influence on the international stage. The nation's free trade agreements with countries like China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States have facilitated its integration into the global economy, allowing it to diversify its export base beyond raw materials to include services and manufactured goods. Additionally, Australia's stable political environment, transparent legal system, and sound financial institutions have attracted significant foreign investment, further strengthening its global economic position. Despite its relatively small population, Australia has maintained a consistent presence in international economic forums, such as the G20, where it contributes to shaping global economic policies and addressing key global challenges. Australia's economy is characterized by its diversity, with several key sectors contributing significantly to its overall economic performance. The mining and resources sector, agriculture and farming, services and tourism, manufacturing and industry, as well as information technology and innovation, form the backbone of Australia's economy. Each sector has evolved over time, influenced by both domestic policy and global economic shifts, providing Australia with a robust and resilient economic structure capable of withstanding external shocks. These sectors not only drive economic growth, but also create employment opportunities and shape Australia's position in the global economy. The mining and resources sector is one of the most critical pillars of Australia's economy, accounting for a significant portion of its GDP and exports. Australia is a global leader in the production and export of iron ore, coal, gold, and liquefied natural gas. The country's vast reserves of mineral resources have been instrumental in driving economic growth, especially during the commodity booms. The resource-rich states of Western Australia and Queensland have benefited significantly from the mining industry, creating wealth and employment opportunities. This sector has attracted massive foreign investments, particularly from China, which has become Australia's largest trading partner. Despite the benefits, the mining sector also faces challenges such as environmental concerns, price volatility in international markets, and the need to transition towards more sustainable energy sources. Agriculture and farming have traditionally been a cornerstone of the Australian economy, with the country being one of the world's largest exporters of agricultural products. Australia is known for producing a wide range of commodities, including wheat, beef, wool, and wine. The agriculture sector is crucial not only for its contribution to exports, but also for supporting rural communities across the country. Australian farmers have benefited from technological advancements in agriculture, such as precision farming and water-saving irrigation techniques, which have improved productivity despite challenges posed by climate change, water scarcity, and fluctuating global commodity prices. However, the sector remains highly vulnerable to environmental factors, particularly droughts, bushfires, and the ongoing impacts of climate change, which threaten long-term sustainability. The services and tourism sectors play a vital role in the Australian economy, with services accounting for the largest share of employment and GDP. Australia's financial services industry, particularly banking and insurance, is well developed and forms a critical component of the global financial system. Education and healthcare services are also significant contributors, with Australia's universities attracting international students and its healthcare system providing high-quality care to both citizens and foreign nationals. Tourism, meanwhile, has grown to become a major economic driver, particularly in regions such as Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria. Tourists are drawn to Australia's unique natural attractions, such as the Great Barrier Reef and the Outback, as well as its vibrant cities. However, the tourism sector faced severe disruptions during the COVID-19 pandemic, highlighting its vulnerability to global travel restrictions and the need for diversification to attract more domestic and international visitors. Manufacturing and industry have historically been important sectors for Australia, though their contribution to the economy has declined in recent decades due to the rise of globalization and competition from low-cost producers in Asia. Nevertheless, certain high-value manufacturing industries, such as aerospace, defense, pharmaceuticals, and advanced materials, continue to thrive. The automotive industry, once a major player, has largely disappeared, with the last car manufacturing plants closing in 2017. However, there has been a push for innovation in manufacturing through the adoption of advanced technologies, such as robotics, automation, and 3D printing. The government has also promoted initiatives to revitalize the manufacturing sector, with a focus on sustainable and high-tech industries that can compete on a global scale, ensuring that Australia remains competitive in the 21st century economy. Finally, information technology and innovation have become increasingly important in shaping the future of the Australian economy. Australia has developed a strong technology sector, with significant growth in software development, fintech, telecommunications, and digital services. The government and private sector have invested heavily in research and development, resulting in innovations across various industries, from agriculture to healthcare. The National Broadband Network Initiative has improved connectivity across the country, providing a foundation for the growth of digital businesses and fostering innovation in remote areas. Startups and tech hubs in cities like Sydney and Melbourne are driving innovation, attracting both talent and investment from around the world. As digital transformation continues to accelerate, Australia's IT sector is poised to become a key driver of economic growth, with opportunities in artificial intelligence, blockchain, and cybersecurity leading the way. Together, these sectors form the foundation of Australia's economic success. By diversifying its economy and investing in innovation, Australia has positioned itself as a dynamic player in the global market. However, the future of these sectors will depend on how Australia navigates challenges such as environmental sustainability, global competition, and the evolving demands of the digital age. The government's role in supporting and regulating these industries will be crucial in ensuring their long-term viability and growth. Australia's labour market is a dynamic and evolving landscape, shaped by various factors including demographic changes, technological advancements, and global economic shifts. Workforce demographics, unemployment and underemployment, wage growth, and inequality are critical aspects that influence employment trends and the overall economic health of the country. Migration also plays a vital role in the labor market, helping to address skills shortages and contributing to economic growth. Understanding these factors is essential for developing effective policies aimed at maintaining a healthy, productive, and equitable labor force. Australia's workforce demographics have undergone significant changes in recent decades. The country has an aging population, with a growing proportion of older workers nearing retirement age. This demographic shift has implications for labor supply, productivity, and economic growth. As the population ages, the participation rate of younger workers has become increasingly important to sustain economic activity. Meanwhile, there has been a noticeable increase in female participation in the workforce, thanks to more inclusive workplace policies and greater access to education. The rise of flexible working arrangements, particularly since the COVID-19 pandemic, has allowed more individuals to balance work and family responsibilities, further contributing to higher female workforce participation. However, there remains a need to address gender disparities in pay and leadership opportunities to ensure a more equitable labor market. Unemployment and underemployment are persistent challenges in Australia's labor market. While the official unemployment rate has generally remained low compared to other advanced economies, underemployment, where individuals work fewer hours than they would prefer, remains a significant issue. This is particularly prevalent among younger workers and those in casual or part-time roles. Structural changes in the economy, such as the decline of manufacturing and the rise of the gig economy, have contributed to a more fragmented labor market, where secure full-time employment is less common. Youth unemployment is also a pressing concern, as young Australians face difficulties entering the workforce due to a lack of experience and relevant skills. The government has implemented various programs to address these issues, such as job training initiatives and support for small businesses to create new employment opportunities. Wage growth in Australia has been sluggish in recent years, despite relatively low unemployment rates. This phenomenon has raised concerns about income inequality and the ability of workers to keep up with the rising cost of living. Various factors contribute to the stagnation of wage growth, including globalization, technological disruption, and the weakening of collective bargaining power. As automation and digitalization reshape industries, many jobs have become more precarious, with lower wages and fewer benefits. This has led to a widening gap between high-income earners, particularly in professional and tech-driven industries, and lower-income workers in sectors such as retail, hospitality, and healthcare. Addressing wage stagnation and inequality will require policy interventions, such as stronger labor protections, minimum wage adjustments, and targeted support for vulnerable workers. Migration plays a crucial role in Australia's labor market, helping to fill skills shortages and contribute to the country's economic growth. Australia has a long history of immigration, and its migration policies have focused on attracting skilled workers to meet the demands of an evolving economy. Skilled migrants, particularly those in healthcare, information technology, engineering, and education, have been essential in supporting key sectors. Temporary migration programs, such as working holiday visas and student visas, also contribute to the labor force, particularly in industries like agriculture, hospitality, and construction. However, migration policies have come under scrutiny in recent years, with debates about the balance between skilled and unskilled migration, the impact on wages, and the integration of migrants into the broader economy. Ensuring that migration continues to benefit both the economy and society will require careful management and consideration of long-term economic and social impacts. Government policy and economic regulation play a central role in shaping the trajectory of Australia's economy. By influencing key factors such as inflation, employment, and international trade, These policies create the framework within which businesses operate and households manage their finances. Australia's approach to monetary and fiscal policy, along with its trade, tariff, and taxation policies, has been instrumental in maintaining economic stability and driving growth. These regulatory mechanisms are designed to address both short-term challenges and long-term structural changes, ensuring that the Australian economy remains competitive and resilient in an increasingly globalized world. Monetary policy in Australia is primarily managed by the Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, which sets the official cash rate to control inflation and maintain economic stability. The RBA uses monetary policy tools to influence interest rates, money supply, and credit conditions, thereby affecting spending, investment, and overall economic activity. In recent years, the RBA has maintained historically low interest rates to stimulate economic growth, especially following the global financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. Low interest rates have encouraged borrowing and investment, though they have also raised concerns about rising household debt and housing affordability. In response to external shocks, such as fluctuating global commodity prices, the RBA's monetary policy has been crucial in stabilizing the economy and maintaining low inflation. However, as inflationary pressures reemerge in the post-pandemic recovery, the challenge for the RBA will be to carefully balance inflation control without stifling economic growth. Fiscal policy in Australia is another key instrument used by the government to regulate the economy. This involves the use of government spending and taxation to influence economic conditions. During periods of economic downturn, such as the GFC and the COVID-19 crisis, the Australian government has implemented expansionary fiscal policies, increasing public spending on infrastructure, healthcare, and social welfare to support the economy. These measures are designed to boost demand, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth. Conversely, during times of economic stability, the government typically aims for fiscal consolidation, seeking to reduce budget deficits and manage public debt. Balancing these fiscal policies is essential for maintaining economic stability, and the government must also consider the long-term impact of public debt on future economic growth. Australia's relatively low public debt, compared to other developed economies, has allowed the government to adopt aggressive fiscal measures when necessary, but ensuring sustainable fiscal policies remains a priority. Trade and tariff policies are critical components of Australia's economic strategy, given the country's reliance on international trade. Australia has embraced free trade as a cornerstone of its economic policy, securing numerous trade agreements with key partners such as China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States. These agreements have allowed Australia to expand its export markets, particularly for agricultural products, minerals, and services. At the same time, Australia's trade policies have aimed to protect certain domestic industries, though tariff rates remain relatively low compared to global standards. However, shifts in global trade dynamics, including rising protectionism and geopolitical tensions, present challenges to Australia's trade strategy. Maintaining open and diversified trade relationships will be crucial for ensuring the long-term stability and growth of Australia's economy, particularly as it seeks to navigate complex international trade environments. Taxation and economic incentives are also essential tools used by the Australian government to regulate economic activity and promote investment. Australia's tax system is designed to be progressive, with higher earners paying a larger proportion of their income in taxes. The government also provides various tax incentives to encourage investment in specific sectors, such as research and development, renewable energy, and small businesses. These incentives aim to stimulate innovation, promote job creation, and drive economic growth. However, there are ongoing debates about the fairness and efficiency of the tax system, particularly with regards to corporate taxation and the treatment of multinational companies. Calls for tax reform have focused on addressing issues such as income inequality, housing affordability, and the growing digital economy, where traditional tax frameworks are often inadequate. Ensuring that the tax system remains fair, efficient, and responsive to the changing economic landscape is a key challenge for policymakers moving forward. International trade and investment are vital components of Australia's economic framework, playing a significant role in driving growth, creating jobs, and fostering innovation. Australia's economic prosperity is deeply intertwined with its strong trade relationships and its ability to attract foreign direct investment, FDI. With an open economy that has embraced globalization, Australia's international trade and investment strategy is focused on leveraging its natural resources, competitive industries, and strategic location in the Asia-Pacific region. Trade agreements and foreign investment flows have bolstered Australia's economic resilience and integration into global markets, but they also present challenges that require careful management to ensure long-term sustainability. Australia's key trading partners are primarily concentrated in the Asia-Pacific region, with China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States being the largest markets for Australian exports. China is by far Australia's most significant trading partner, accounting for a substantial share of Australia's exports, particularly in commodities such as iron ore, coal, and liquefied natural gas. Japan and South Korea also import large quantities of Australian natural resources and agricultural products. The United States, while not a major destination for raw materials, is a crucial partner in terms of services, investment, and defense cooperation. Australia's trade relationships with these countries have been mutually beneficial, allowing Australia to capitalize on its resource wealth and agricultural productivity. However, these partnerships also expose Australia to risks, such as geopolitical tensions with China and fluctuations in global commodity prices, which can have significant impacts on trade volumes and economic stability. Foreign direct investment, FDI, plays an essential role in the Australian economy, providing capital for infrastructure, innovation, and job creation. Australia has long been a popular destination for foreign investors due to its stable political environment, well-regulated financial system, and rich natural resources. FDI has been particularly prominent in sectors such as mining, real estate, agriculture, and technology. Countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, and China are the largest sources of FDI in Australia, with significant investments in resource extraction, property development, and manufacturing. While FDI brings many economic benefits, it also raises concerns about foreign ownership of critical assets and industries. Australia's Foreign Investment Review Board, FIRB, plays a key role in regulating and overseeing foreign investment to ensure that it aligns with the country's national interest, particularly in sensitive sectors such as energy, agriculture, and infrastructure. The impact of trade agreements on Australia's economy has been profound, facilitating access to new markets and enhancing the competitiveness of Australian businesses. Australia has signed a number of free trade agreements with key global economies, including China, Japan, South Korea, the United States, and the European Union. These agreements have lowered tariffs, reduced trade barriers, and opened up new opportunities for Australian exporters, particularly in agriculture, mining, and services. The Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership is another major trade deal that has strengthened Australia's position in the Asia-Pacific region by promoting trade liberalization among 11 Pacific Rim countries. However, trade agreements also come with challenges, such as increased competition for domestic industries and concerns about the impact on labor standards, environmental protections, and intellectual property rights. Navigating these trade agreements requires careful consideration of the long-term economic and social impacts on both domestic businesses and the broader economy. Australia's balance of trade and payments is a critical indicator of its economic health, reflecting the difference between the value of its exports and imports. Historically, Australia has often run a trade surplus, largely due to its strong export performance in natural resources. However, this surplus can fluctuate based on global demand for commodities, changes in currency exchange rates, and the economic performance of key trading partners. The current account balance, which includes trade in goods and services, as well as net income from abroad, has also been influenced by factors such as foreign investment, dividend payments to foreign investors, and income from Australian investments abroad. A sustained trade surplus is generally seen as a positive indicator of economic stability, but persistent deficits in the current account could signal potential vulnerabilities, such as reliance on foreign capital or declining competitiveness in global markets. Managing the balance of trade and payments effectively is crucial for ensuring long-term economic sustainability and reducing exposure to external economic shocks. In summary, international trade and investment are integral to Australia's economic performance, offering numerous opportunities for growth and development. Strong trading relationships with key partners, the ability to attract foreign direct investment, and the strategic use of trade agreements have helped Australia remain competitive in a globalized economy. However, maintaining a healthy balance of trade and payments and addressing potential risks associated with foreign ownership and market fluctuations are key challenges for ensuring that international trade and investment continue to benefit Australia in the long term. Australia faces a range of challenges and opportunities that will shape its economic future, driven by both domestic and global factors. Key areas of focus include environmental sustainability, the rapid pace of technological advancements, growing income inequality, and the profound impact of globalization. Each of these factors presents both risks and possibilities for growth, depending on how effectively they are managed. Australia's ability to navigate these issues will determine its capacity to maintain economic stability, promote social equity, and remain competitive on the global stage. Environmental sustainability is a pressing challenge for Australia. Given the country's heavy reliance on natural resources, which are both a cornerstone of the economy and a source of significant environmental impact, Australia is a major exporter of coal, natural gas, and minerals, which contribute substantially to its GDP, but also raise concerns about carbon emissions and environmental degradation. The increasing frequency of extreme weather events, such as droughts, bushfires, and floods, underscores the vulnerability of the country to the effects of climate change. These environmental challenges pose risks to key sectors like agriculture, tourism, and even mining. However, they also present opportunities for Australia to transition to a more sustainable economy by investing in renewable energy, such as solar and wind power, and promoting green technologies. By becoming a leader in clean energy, Australia can not only reduce its carbon footprint, but also open up new avenues for economic growth and global competitiveness in emerging green industries. Technological advancements offer tremendous opportunities for Australia to drive innovation and boost productivity across various sectors. The rise of digital technologies, artificial intelligence, AI, automation, and advanced manufacturing is transforming industries and creating new business models. For Australia, these advancements can lead to increased efficiency, improved global competitiveness, and the development of high-value industries such as fintech, biotech, and clean energy. However, these technological changes also present challenges, particularly in terms of workforce displacement and the need for upskilling and reskilling workers. Automation has the potential to disrupt traditional industries, particularly in manufacturing and low-skilled jobs, leading to potential increases in unemployment or underemployment if workers are not adequately prepared for the evolving job market. Governments and businesses must invest in education, training, and lifelong learning initiatives to ensure that the workforce can adapt to these technological shifts and seize the opportunities they present. Income inequality is another significant challenge facing Australia, with rising disparities between high-income earners and those in low-paid or precarious employment. While Australia has generally maintained a high standard of living, the gap between the wealthy and the economically disadvantaged has widened in recent years. Wage growth has stagnated, particularly for lower-income workers, while the costs of housing, healthcare, and education have risen sharply. This growing inequality not only threatens social cohesion, but also poses risks to economic stability, as reduced consumer spending power among lower-income households can dampen overall economic growth. Addressing income inequality requires a multifaceted approach, including policy interventions such as tax reform, increased support for social welfare programs, and efforts to ensure that workers are paid fair wages. Additionally, providing greater access to education and affordable housing can help level the playing field and create more opportunities for upward mobility. The impact of globalization on Australia presents both challenges and opportunities. As a relatively small economy with significant exposure to international markets, Australia has benefited greatly from globalization through increased trade, investment, and access to new technologies. Globalization has allowed Australian businesses to expand their reach and compete on the global stage, particularly in sectors like mining, agriculture, and education. However, globalization also brings challenges, such as heightened competition from overseas markets, the outsourcing of jobs, and vulnerability to global economic shocks. Geopolitical tensions, shifting trade policies, and the rise of protectionism in some regions also present risks to Australia's trade-dependent economy. To maximize the opportunities presented by globalization, Australia must continue to diversify its trading relationships, invest in high-tech industries, and maintain a flexible and adaptive economic strategy that can respond to the changing global landscape. Australia's future economic outlook is shaped by a combination of growth opportunities and potential challenges. As the global economy continues to evolve, Australia must navigate a path that balances domestic needs with international dynamics. Growth projections remain relatively positive, bolstered by strong industries such as mining, agriculture, and services. However, the economy is also susceptible to external risks and uncertainties that could influence its long-term trajectory. Australia's role in the Asia-Pacific region will be crucial as it continues to strengthen ties with key partners, while economic reforms may be necessary to address emerging challenges and ensure sustainable growth. Growth projections for Australia remain optimistic, supported by its rich natural resources, strong export markets, and a highly skilled workforce. The Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, and other economic analysts predict steady growth over the coming years, although at a slower pace than the rapid expansion seen during the mining booms of the 2000s. Key sectors such as mining, healthcare, education, and technology are expected to continue driving economic activity, while domestic consumption and infrastructure spending will also play important roles. Population growth, fueled by immigration, will likely contribute to an expanding labor force, although challenges such as an aging population will need to be managed. However, future growth will depend on Australia's ability to diversify its economy beyond traditional industries and embrace innovation in sectors such as renewable energy and advanced manufacturing. Despite positive growth projections, Australia faces significant risks and uncertainties that could disrupt its economic progress. One of the primary risks comes from global economic volatility, particularly due to Australia's reliance on exports to countries like China, whose economic policies and growth rates can directly impact Australian trade. Geopolitical tensions, including the ongoing US-China rivalry, also pose risks to Australia's trade relationships and overall economic stability. Additionally, climate change represents a growing uncertainty, with extreme weather events potentially affecting agricultural productivity and infrastructure. Domestically, household debt levels, housing affordability, and wage stagnation remain persistent concerns, which could weigh on consumer confidence and spending. The challenge for policymakers will be to mitigate these risks through proactive economic management, ensuring that Australia remains resilient in the face of global and domestic uncertainties. Australia's role in the Asia-Pacific region will be a key determinant of its economic future. As a middle power with strong economic ties to Asia, Australia is strategically positioned to benefit from the continued rise of the region's emerging economies. Countries such as China, India, and Indonesia represent significant growth markets for Australian goods and services, particularly in sectors like education, tourism, and agriculture. Australia's participation in regional trade agreements, such as the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTP, and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, further solidifies its integration into the Asia-Pacific economic framework. However, maintaining these relationships will require careful diplomacy, especially in light of rising geopolitical tensions and shifts in global trade patterns. Australia's ability to balance its economic interests with its strategic alliances, particularly with the United States, will be crucial for its long-term success in the region. In light of these challenges and opportunities, potential economic reforms will be essential for ensuring Australia's future prosperity. Reforms could include tax policy adjustments, particularly addressing corporate tax rates and incentives for investment in high-tech and green industries. Labor market reforms, aimed at improving job security and addressing wage stagnation, will also be critical to maintaining social cohesion and boosting productivity. Additionally, environmental policy reforms will be necessary to address the urgent need for climate action, including transitioning away from fossil fuels and investing in renewable energy infrastructure. Education and skills training will be vital for preparing the workforce for future challenges, particularly in areas such as digital literacy and advanced manufacturing. By implementing forward-thinking reforms, Australia can enhance its competitiveness, foster innovation, and ensure that its economy remains robust and inclusive in the face of changing global dynamics.